Boys and girls, second graders. You guys, I'm gonna have to unblur my background. Doesn't wanna. I blurred my background yesterday, and now I don't know how to unblur it. So you guys can see what I am. Here we go. What my story is today. We've been reading books about the first graders' stuff on wonders, which is like their busy body. Today we're going to read about some of what the second graders are talking about, which is different jobs that people have, right? Second graders, that's what you guys are reading about and writing about. I was reading some of your writing on Class Dojo this morning. Thank you guys for turning in your assignments on Class Dojo. I think that's going to be a lot easier for Ms. Kennison to go back and look at all of your work because it's all together in one place and I don't have to search through my emails for thousands of emails. There is an extension cord over there. So this book is called All About Things People Do. And it's illustrated by Leslie Smith. And up here it tells us the authors, Melanie and Chris Rice. Melanie and Chris Rice are the authors. All About Things People Do. And we just have read about just a few jobs, and I think you're going to realize there's a lot more jobs than we think about. And there's a really cool thing in the story. It's called a table of contents. Now, this one is kind of fun because it has pictures along with the table of contents, which most books do not have. All right, well, technical difficulties. Okay. So the first one just says all around people are busy everywhere in towns and cities, in the countryside and at sea, even underground. And this is where farming, collecting the garbage, fishing, mining. People are busy at home and at work. These guys are doing chores. I know you guys read a story about different chores people do. Troy, if those are going to be distracting, you're going to need to take them off, okay? Helping out and having fun. Drivers take people and their belongings from one place to another. Taxi driver, bus driver, rickshaw walla. It's like a cool bike thing. Here's some of the people who work at a truck driver. And then here's some of the people who work at an airport. A ground stewardess checks passengers' tickets. A baggage handler takes suitcases to the plane. Ground engineers refuel the plane. And it looks like that continues across the bottom. A flight engineer makes sure the plane is ready to fly. You know, a couple years ago, actually, like the last time I flew a plane, it was 2 hours late taking off because the flight engineers said the plane was not safe to fly yet, which I was glad they were there to check and make sure. And they had to fix the plane before we were allowed to go. A stewardess looks after the passengers. I think, though, now they're called flight attendants. This book might be a little bit old because it's not just girls who work to make sure the passengers are okay. There's also men who do that as well. So it's called a flight attendant now, not a stewardess. An air traffic controller guides the pilot for takeoff. So look at, those are all sorts of jobs. And that's not even all of the jobs for an airport. And there's also a captain of a ship, a pilot, an engine driver, a bike messenger, and a gondolier. There's only a few places where those are. In the factory, before work begins, the design engineer draws up plans and models are tested. 102, look, I've got to follow this one with the numbers. Fitters position the side panels for the robots to weld together. Oh, I think I missed this part. Sorry. In a car factory, people work alongside robots and computers. Each person concentrates on just one part of the assembly line. So each person does just a little part of the job, and then it gets all done. Fitters position the side panels for the robots to weld together. Now I need to find 3. It looks like it goes down here. After the fitters hang the doors and hoods on their hinges, robots spray the body of the car with paint. So look at that. This lady over here looks like she gets to control the robots spraying it. Number 4, the windshields were sealed in place before the fitters lower the body into its engine. Looks like the fitters are, the windshields are used with robots. And, who has there? Amy, can I get you to mute your mic, please? That's some very nice music in the background, but it's a little loud. All right, 5. The insides of the car and its wheels are added. At every stage, supervisors check production standards. So there's somebody who has to go through and check and make sure everybody's doing their job just right, and they're doing their jobs, and also that everything, looks correct, like that it was made correctly. And let's see, 5, I go over here to 6. So this book kind of jumps around a little. I have to be careful and make sure that I'm following it by checking the numbers. The technicians test the car to make sure that everything works perfectly. When people and machines work together, they can produce hundreds of cars each day. So there's all sorts of jobs in a car factory, all sorts of different types of jobs. What, Amy?
Can I use the restroom, please?
Finish your live.
Okay, mute your mic. Thank you, Amy. That's up to you and your parents. You can go if you need to. All right, hands at work. Look, these are all sorts of jobs that people do with their hands. Craftsmen and women, such as basket weavers, make things by hand. People admire handcrafted things because they take time and skills to make. The potter shapes a pot from wet clay on a potter's wheel. When the pot is dry, it hardens in a hot kiln. And when you guys are in high school, you could actually take a pottery class with Miss Civils, and she'd do that with you guys. When the pot is cold, he decorates it with paint and glaze and fires it again in the kiln. Be a potter. Mold your own pot using modeling clay that hardens without heat. Mark a pattern with an old spoon or fork. So see, they can mark patterns on it. When the part is hard, you can paint it in bright colors. Carpenters cut and join wood using tools in their workshop. That's something you could also take a class on in high school, a wood shop class. Mr. Hiscox has a wood shop class right now. The watchmaker is checking tiny parts of the magnifying lens. Look at that. He's got to put that on his eyeball so he can look at those teeny tiny parts in the watch. Glass blowers blow and twist hot glass into shapes that harden as they cool. My aunt, she doesn't do glass blowing, but she makes glass windows as her job. And they're very, very beautiful. And she spends many, many hours painting and putting together these glass windows. And then, but I've actually been to a glass shop where I got to try this glass blowing, and I made a vase, and it was really cool. But it was definitely hard to do because this glass is blazing hot when you're blowing in there. So it's definitely a skill that takes time to learn. My vase ended up a little lumpy, not quite perfect because I was just learning for the very first time. Builders. On construction sites, many people work together. Before the builders begin, designers, architects, and engineers discuss and plan the best way to carry out the job. And there's different people that you need for different types of buildings that you're making, right? For building a tunnel, you're going to need to do different things than if you're building a bridge or if you're building a road. The designer must make the tunnel strong enough to hold back earth and water. Engineers make sure the bridge will stand up to wind, wave, and heavy traffic. The surveyor measures the land so that the road will be straight and smooth. So before they even get to start building, all of these guys need to do their jobs first. And did you guys know that? Did you know there were so many steps before you could start even doing a construction? Troy says he knows. A ship is designed on computers and tested with models before it is built in the shipyard. Each section is constructed in an assembly hall and rolled out to the building dock. So they take each section and they build it somewhere else and they bring it to the shipyard to put it all together. A crane driver lifts the sections. A welder joins them together. A painter sprays over the joints. All sorts of different jobs. Ooh, doing repairs. All the things we use, no matter how well they are made, need maintaining to stay in good order. When they break or go wrong, they have to be repaired. Have you seen these people at work? A plumber? Who's seen a plumber? Or whose grown-ups have had to do some plumbing work on their own? I know I had to help Mr. Squatrito replace all the pipes in our bathroom once. That was a lot of work. Electrician. I bet Owen knows a little bit about this one. Owen? You want to share something, Owen? Who is this that has the minion? Minion person, Ashlyn? That needs to go away.
Miss?
Yes, Owen?
My dad is a worker.
Yeah, your dad, I know he used to be, anyway, do a lot of electrician work, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Elizabeth, you have something to share?
One time, our light went out because people were working for the electricity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes they have to turn off the electricity so they can work on it. Yeah. Amy, did you have something you wanted to share?
My dad used to be a plumber.
Oh, yeah?
He is a light electricity. And yeah, pretty much.
That's great. Is this Max? I'm sorry. I have a hard, you're backlit, so I can't see your face. But Max, did you have something you wanted to share?
Sometimes my dad works at the toy shop.
Very cool. What does he do at the toy shop? What is his job?
He gives toys to kids.
Oh, that would be a very fun job. All right. There's window cleaners. Have you guys ever seen a window cleaner? The other day I was at Once Upon a Child and somebody was outside cleaning the windows and they were doing a very nice job. They made that building look very nice. Road worker. I bet you guys have seen that. They're flattening down the asphalt for the road. Telephone engineer. These guys are working on the telephone lines. Mechanics work in a garage servicing and mending cars. Sometimes they have a really nice lift, and I bet a lot of your grown-ups might do some of their own work on cars, and they just have to do it out in their driveway, huh? That's what Mr. Squatrito has to do, or in our garage. A toolbox. People need all kinds of tools to help them with their work. Who uses these tools? There's a wrench, screwdriver, spanner, paintbrush, pliers. Making clothes. Have you guys ever thought about where your clothes come from? Have you ever thought about that? There's a lot of work that goes into making those clothes. Rudy?
A clothes store?
Well, that's where we get them from, huh? But they have to go to different places before they get to the clothes store. Karina? I mean, not Karina. Elizabeth, you look so much like your sister. I'm sorry.
Sometimes they have to, they sew it.
Somebody has to sew it.
Mhm.
What else do you think they have to do before it gets to you? Miranda?
They had to, the people that make it they send it to the store.
Okay, so then there's somebody that has to ship the clothes? Absolutely. Troy?
Put tags on them and write which size it is.
Okay, somebody has to add the tags. Yep. Danny?
They could they could put
Okay.
what could it say?
You forgot it. Slipped right out of your brain. That happens. Amy, did you have anything else you want to add?
She's asking a question.
They have to put in in the truck.
Okay, right. In the process of shipping them to the store, they have to get to the truck. Absolutely. All right, let's look at some of these. So these are different types of things that people might make. So a hand knitted jumper. A jumper is another word for like a sweater. A handmade hat, machine made gym shoes. Here are some of the people who produce a cotton t-shirt. So most of you guys are wearing just a cotton t-shirt, and this is some of the work that goes into it. A harvester gathered the cotton. Did you guys know cotton is a plant that's grown in the fields and it has to be harvested? So cotton, which most of your shirts are, your clothes are made out of, has to be picked. It's at the top. Mrs. Champlin, I think, has a cotton plant in her room. I think might have to let me see if she'll let me borrow it real quick to show you guys later. So they have to use this big machine to gather it. Then a spinner spun the cotton into thread. A knitter wove the threads into material. So those are all done by different machines that are doing that. A dyer colored the material. A designer sketched the t-shirt. So exactly how is that t-shirt going to look? What what sizes we need to make it? How are we going to measure it to put it together right? That's all done by a designer. And then a machinist sewed up the material. You could be your own designer. You need some paper, pencils, an old t-shirt, and fabric crayons or fabric paint. Draw your design on a piece of paper. Copy it onto the front of your t-shirt and color it in with the fabric crayons. Ask an adult to cover the picture with paper or cloth to iron it over it. The heat will fix the colors. So there's this special kind of crayons that I think you can draw on there, and then you iron it onto your shirt and it transfers over. Or you could just have your design kind of ready so you can look at it while you paint it on the shirt with fabric paint. Something like that. You guys could do that on your own. That's not an assignment. That's only a fun activity you can do. So don't go telling your parents I said you have to. That's just something that the book says, ooh, you could be a t-shirt designer, and that's not an assignment. So in the stores, when we go shopping to buy things we need, salespersons help us find what we want and take our money at the cash register. They also fill the shelves and arrange displays. And like that just shows different kind of shops. Kid stuff, eye store, hot bread shop, Haddock and Son. Oh, it looks like they sell fish and meat. Can you find these people? Have you guys seen a salesperson at the store? You should see everybody with a thumbs up. If you've been to a store, you've seen a salesperson. A fish merchant. Have you guys gone to like Winco, even if you go over to their deli area, they've got the people who cut up the fresh meat, and they've got fresh fish and stuff that they'll sell you. But there are special shops too that have people that this is they just go to that special shop and sell fish or meat there. And then a grocer. At the hairdresser, some shops sell services, not goods. So a service is something they do for you, and a good is something like that you would buy from them, right? Like a good would be, a t-shirt or something that you're buying, whereas a service is something that they do for you. So when you go to to get your hair done, they're selling you the service of them cutting your hair, right? Hairdressers are trained to wash and cut their customers' hair. There's all sorts of jobs at a restaurant, right? People eat at restaurants when they are too busy to cook their own meals or when they want a special treat. Customers choose from the menu, and the chef cooks their meals. There's the chef back there. Waiters bring food to the table. Can you see someone washing up? Right? They need everybody to do their jobs at a restaurant. In most countries, you can buy ready-to-eat snacks in the street as well, like on a food truck. There's American hot dogs. You can get Italian ice cream, Nigerian corn on the cob. Those are some of the examples of treats that you might buy in the street. Entertainers. These guys their jobs are to keep their audience happy. They make them think too. Which entertainers do you enjoy watching the most? There's a clown, musician, singer, magician, musicians, ballet dancers, folk dancers, an acrobat. Writers and illustrators entertain us with their books, but we don't get to watch them at work usually, right? We just get to enjoy the product, which is their book. Although sometimes the illustrators are putting up videos of them doing their drawings, some of them to try to teach us too how to do their drawings also, which I thought was kind of fun. At the theater, people come to the theater to see actors and musicians, but there are others that work behind the scenes. The director leads the rehearsals. The wardrobe mistress sews the costumes or selects the costumes for everybody. Scenic artists paint the sets for the stage. Sound and lighting technicians operate the sound and lighting effects. And there's a lot more people too. This, like an usher who shows people to their seats. Here's a concession person that's selling treats. There's a lot of different jobs. Sports. Sports are enjoyed by people everywhere. Some like to take part and others prefer to watch. Jogging, skiing, sailing, swimming, basketball. People compete against each other and play together in teams. Athletes. We can watch sports live and at home on television. Snooker. I don't know what that is. Snooker. We'll have to look up that word because I don't know what that means. That's a label on this picture, and I'm thinking it's probably talking about the person on the TV playing pool professionally, but I will have to look that up. But that label helped me, that it was right next to there, kind of figure that out. So that's something that I would do as a reader, is I would say, what does that word mean? And I use my picture clues, and I think I know what that means. And then I would go look that up to double check. What is a snooker? A sports bag. Which sports need these? Skis, life jacket, track shoes, a cue, and a basket. So once again, here's another thing that looks like, the pool table stuff, and it goes over here. So I'm thinking that a snooker must be a person who plays pool, but I'm going to look that up. As a reader, I want to figure out what that word means, right? I think a couple of you guys are frozen. Oh, man. All right, we'll continue this discussion a little bit tomorrow, and then we'll get started another book as well. There's a lot of really good jobs in here that I think you guys will have a fun time thinking about. I'm going to look up this word, and I'll get back to you guys tomorrow on what a snooker is, and we'll see if our prediction was correct, if we use those picture cues correctly in order to help figure that out. I want all of you guys to stand up really quick. You look like you're getting droopy on me. Stand up. Touch the ceiling. Touch your toes. Touch the ceiling. Touch your toes. Finger almost to your nose. Don't touch it. Almost to your nose. Almost to your nose. Almost to your nose. Way up high again. Way down low. Stretch to the right. Stretch to the left. Oh, stretch all around. Wake up your brain. Take a deep breath. Remember yesterday we read about how much our brain needs oxygen and our body needs oxygen. So we're feeding our brain and our body the oxygen that it needs in order to work properly. Take another deep breath. Wiggle around. Get that blood moving. All right. I bet you guys are ready to get to work on your Google Classroom stuff, right? Some of you guys give me a surprise look. What? I still have to work? Yep, it's our last day before the weekend. Oh, Owen's giving me a thumbs up. Thank you, Owen. Good attitude. I love it. Okay, kiss your brains. You're all ready to work. Okay, go on to your playlist or into the Google Classroom for the day and get your lesson and do that work. Goodbye, first and second graders.
Bye.
Bye.
Danny, are you